Well, I apologize in advance for people who have already seen my video comparing this to the Canik rival SFXS, because you're going to get a lot of the same information, but this is just for the people who are only interested in the Smith Wesson M&P 2.0 Competitor. This will be my final review of this firearm, as I am going to be getting rid of it. I am not impressed with it. I think the quality of the firearm is just not there. I have some issues with this one in particular. I sent it back to Smith & Wesson. Most of those issues did not get resolved, or I think they consider them to be normal. I mentioned those in a previous video, which is the fitment between the frame and the slide. There should be some play. There's so much play in this that when I dry fire the gun, the slide will actually walk on the frame, which means the sights actually move when you dry fire the gun. And today, in live firing the gun, after I got it back and they've gone through the gun and, analyzed it and repaired it and determined whether or not these things are normal or not, I went out and shot the gun, and what I found is at 15 yards, I would get horizontal stringing even resting from a bench, and I am convinced it is because sometimes when the striker falls, the slide on the frame is holding still, and other times when it falls, it's walking slightly. So I'm getting like 3-inch string of 2 to 3-inch string of grouping instead of one ragged hole at 15 yards resting from a bench. I don't get that with any of my other striker-fired firearms. I probably own 30 to 40 striker-fired firearms. I've never seen that before. I immediately identified it when I started dry fire practicing this gun before I took it to the range. I noticed that those sights were walking like that under dry fire, and I thought, yeah, there's a problem there. Apparently, they think it's normal because it went back to the factory, and they seem to be okay with it. I'm not okay with it. That's one of the reasons I'm getting rid of it. The other reason I'm getting rid of it is because the front grip strap, which they replaced, is still loose and still sloppy, and I loathe what they have done here. They basically machined this frame all the way through, and that plastic grip snaps in there, and so your magazines are actually sliding against the inside of your plastic grip strap on here. You can look at the comparison between the Canik Rival and this gun, and you'll see I go through all of that, tear them down, and you can see in detail what I'm talking about. Anyway, so didn't care for that part. And then the trigger on this gun, I complained about it being way too heavy for a competition gun. In fact, it's heavier than what I have seen out of a lot of the performance center triggers that I've used from Smith & Wesson. In my opinion, there's just no excuse for that. This is supposed to be the creme de la creme from Smith & Wesson in terms of what they can build for an M&P competition gun. And instead, what I think they have done here is they had a marketing team get together with a team of accountants and a team of attorneys, and they put together what they perceived as a gun that would be easy to sell, that would be aesthetically pleasing, and that would be legal complication proof. And those are not the teams I would consult to probably put together the best possible competitive firearm a person could put together. In my comparison to this Canik Rival SFXS, the difference is this is like getting together a team of engineers with competitive shooters and saying, build the best possible competition gun you can build with the platform we have available to us. We're not going to worry about what lawyers have to say about it or any of that, and so you get a phenomenal trigger, phenomenal fitment, no corner cutting, none of that nonsense that you're getting out of this Smith & Wesson, in my opinion. So I'm not a fan of it. If you have one and you love it and it works great for you, more power to you. If you can get your hands on a Canik Rival SFXS, I would highly recommend you do it and try one, and I think you'll understand what I'm talking about, especially where they come to market at a very similar price point. I think you're going to see the sales for these dwindle and the sales for those Canik Rival SFXS's skyrocket. But anyway, so that's my experience. At this point, I'm going to try to, like I said, get rid of this thing. I don't care if I take a loss on it or whatever. I'm prepared to do that at this point. Sometimes we pay money to learn lessons the hard way. I wish somebody else out there had gone through a teardown and showed the build quality and things like that of this firearm, that was not somebody that was paid to or given one for free from Smith & Wesson, because I would have used that information to probably make a different choice. But for anybody else that's out there in the market, I'm just giving you information. You can do with whatever you want with that. But anyway, thanks for watching this review or this video. Have a nice day. Bye.